This is how a knit folds.
It's 8 AM, having a quick coffee, then taking Ariana to school.
Ready for school, Ari? And she's gone.
The plan right now is to go to Panera Bread. They have this like sick coffee. Go to the gym, head to work. Only in Florida for a couple of days now. Then back to London.
Black coffee?
Yeah, large coffee to go, thanks. Got the coffee. My God, this camera's so heavy. Okay, gym time. Just got out of the shower. Alex is having a quick nap and I'm messing around online. Gonna go to birthday lunch at one of our favourite places to eat, then down to business. Mexican Coke. I don't even know why, but it has a little sticker on it. They use different sugar in it or something, but it's ridiculously nice. So there's two 510s running, and there's actually a 100-200 mix game, but we're just going to be playing the 510 today. Hopefully a 1025 is going to run before I leave, but I don't know. I'll leave in a couple of days, so we'll see.
Here we go again. Just get all greens, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thanks a lot.
Yep.
I want to talk a little bit about tells in poker. There's lots of different kind of tells. There's bet sizing tells, there's timing tells, and then there's the more traditional, which is solely in live poker, the physical tells. I think it's quite a unique situation where a lot of players massively overrate these things and base their decisions solely on them. And then there are some players that completely underrate those things and rarely, if ever, factor them into decisions. I like to factor in both, and this hand is a good example. So we're back at the aisle playing No Limit Hold'em, 510, 2k max. I think we have around 2k to be honest. We've not really played that many interesting pots up until this point. And it folds around to us in the cutoff with the extremely playable 5-6 of spades. We make it 35 and the big blind defends. I don't think he's a pro, but I've played with him quite a lot and have a fairly good feel for how he plays. We flop middle pair and a backdoor straight draw. This particular player calls the flop extremely wide, so this bet's actually purely for value. I now pick up a really strong live tell on the way he's been playing with his chips. The turn comes and he instantly leads out now for 80. I don't want to be specific on what it is, but it is relevant and we definitely cannot ignore it. So back to fundamentals. He's representing not that many believable hands here, really. Would he really do this with just an ace? And other than ace 10, can he really have defended 10-6 or 10-3 and has now turned 2-pair? I don't think so. And he definitely perceives me as a very aggressive player, so the fact that he takes away the betting lead makes me a little suspicious that he wouldn't give me a chance to bluff. So he's led again for 160 on the river, and he really does not value bet the river thin, so he's basically saying I have 2-pair plus, and there's really not that many combinations. We don't have the best hand to bluff catch with because we block some of his flop straight draws, and we also arrive at the river with a lot of hands that are just easy snap calls. However, given the fact that he calls the flop so wide and the physical tell combined with the price we were getting made me lean towards a call. And he inexplicably has 10-9 of clubs.
You bluff with the best hand.
So our read was right, and he thought he was bluffing and wanted us to fold. But the fact that he's randomly bet this hand means we probably should just wait until we have a stronger hand in this spot. So, been playing for a couple of hours now. Literally, so little has happened, winning like 150.
They run like 50 and 100 so big.
So this next hand, we looking down at pocket kings on the button, and one of the stronger players opens to 35 in the hijack.
35.
I didn't really have much of a dynamic with the original raiser. The big blind had shown a tendency to squeeze pre-flop, and the weakest player at the table was in the small blind, and I didn't want to push him out of the pot. With those things in mind, it's a good spot to slow play. Unfortunately, the big blind does not squeeze and the small blind folds, so we go to the flop three-way. It's a fairly good flop for my range. I have quite a lot of hands with jacks in them that I call pre-flop, as does the big blind, so the original raiser can't really be blasting off here very often, so we will be treading carefully. He continuation bets about 80% of the pot. There's not really much value in raising. We will be continuing here with a large amount of our pocket pairs, all of our jack X, all of our club flush draws, and the occasional float. The big blind folds, and the turn brings the 8 of diamonds. We are still considerably under rect. This turn brings quite a lot of straight draws, which he may be inclined to barrel with. Hands like 6, 7, 9, 10, Queen 10, and club draws, none of which we block. He ends up checking. The turn is quite close. Against a much weaker opponent, we have a very easy bet for thin value on the turn and most rivers. However, we need to be more selective against a tougher opponent. We're going to want to split our range into some hands that bet the turn and river, hands with a jack or better and some bluffs. We want some hands that bet the turn and check the river, hands that aren't strong enough to value bet and some given up bluffs, and some hands that check back the turn to either call, raise or fold the river. Some traps and mid-strength hands which sometimes we call and sometimes we fold. With kings I decided to bet the turn for value and re-evaluate the river. The flop flush draw comes in and he checks very quickly. I think it's a little bit too weak to value bet, and I decide to check back. And he has pocket tens, a hand that may have called a bet, however I still think checking back is correct. It is 9 PM. We profited $375 in that session over about like 5 hours. Not much happened really. A couple of small pots, small to medium pots. I don't think I played a pot over like 600. Gonna bomb over to the hard rock. There's 2 5-10s running. Gonna get into the action.
Hey man. Last name's Cody, C-O-D-Y.
So we just got to the Hard Rock. This place always kind of reminds me of Vegas. I guess it's because of like all the slot machines, which is a good thing, but it reminds me of all the Vegas Temptations and things like that. Okay, so there's 2 tables of 5-10. We're gonna put ourselves on the list. Hopefully it'll be a good game and we can get some fun hands in.
Can I get the list for the 5-10, please?
Name?
Jake.
Alright, Jake, you're on there.
I'm like 3rd on the list for the 5-10. There's 2 full tables. Game actually looks pretty damn good. I think I made a good decision to come over here. The max bind is actually 2,500, so a little bit bigger than the aisle, and the games start at like normal times. I don't think the 5-10 even runs until like 8-9 p.m. and then runs until like 4-5 a.m. One of the main reasons I wanted to start this vlog was to kind of show the poker experience to the viewers and like to the audience, to show what it was like to be a poker player and what it was like at the table. I want to show the ups and downs. I'm not just going to show winning sessions, because you know it's tough sometimes. I love it, but it's not easy. Like any job, there's going to have good days and bad days. It's all about how you rebound from the bad days and keep yourself mentally strong and try to not let it affect you. I thought it'd be something cool to do and have a lot of memories to look back on, as Ariana as a child, as me playing poker in Florida here, back and forth to London, because you know, as much as I love it, I understand that I probably won't be traveling as much as I am right now forever. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to document it when I'm 80, or like if I make it that old, probably won't, but then I'll be able to look back at it and be like, wow, sick, go on Jake. I'm in Florida for just a couple of more days now, but me and my friend and fellow PokerStars team pro, Fatima DeMello, I'm sure some of you know her, will be doing a charity night in London this coming Thursday. Then one of my good friends, though, he's doing a charity boxing match on the Saturday in Leeds. It's like a white collar boxing match, or blue collar, white collar, I don't know. But you've got to wear a suit to go to the event. There's like 20 amateur fights on the night. It sounds fucking great. So hopefully that'll be fun. And it's my mum's birthday a few days after that. I'll be going over to Rochdale to see her, see my grandma. Then, to be honest, I've got 2 weeks after that free. I don't really know what to do. I'm kind of looking for suggestions of what I should do. I don't know if there's any poker events going on somewhere. Maybe I could go play. I just wanted to say I cannot thank everyone enough. I honestly can't thank you enough for all the support, all the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. It's just really overwhelming, and to think that I nearly didn't post it because I was too scared just seems so stupid now, because feedback's been really great. It feels worthwhile. I put so many hours into that first one. You would not believe the amount of time I spent on training videos for editing software and going through it all and trying to make it all look nice. A few problems with the audio. Hopefully that'll be fixed for future episodes. Keep the feedback coming. It's what makes this so great, the whole interactive side of it. I love that. I love the fact that people comment and talk about hands, and or to show people how great it is, how much fun it can be. So I just heard 2 guys called for 5-10. I'm pretty sure I'm next, so I'm gonna head back over there, get some chips ready, and try and play my best. That's all I can ever do.
No shot. No.
So finally a bit of hard rock action. So we find the fish hooks in the big blind, pocket jacks. Under the gun a straddle for 25. He's a new player at the table. I'm fairly sure he's a good pro, but I do not think we've played together before. The button limps with what's a likely very wide range, and now the small blind raises to 50, a min raise. He's playing around 500, effectively 20 big blinds, and I don't really see this min raise as strength, so I'm more than happy to go with jacks here against his stack and free bet to 160. And now the straddle comes in with the cold 4-bet to 425, and he's playing around 2500. So it's fairly awkward right now. This is a spot that we need to be aware of. It's a situation where we have a very well-defined range, which is entirely value hands, as we wouldn't free bet the small blind as a bluff in this situation because he only has 500. We have to go with his stack, so we're not gonna free bet a hand like 6-7 suited. The straddle is also very likely to be incredibly value heavy here, although he can definitely have a few more bluffs than we can. The way I would approach this situation pre-flop is to fold the very bottom of our range, and against a good player with no dynamic, I would flat call every hand we are continuing with, everything from hands like ace-queen suited to pocket aces. Against certain opponents who I thought were bad, I would be unbalanced and try to get in the very top of my range pre-flop, especially if I thought they weren't going to exploit me post-flop. 2500 deep, I think we can definitely call this hand pre-flop. The flop has gone check-check, we would have been check-folding, and we have now checked on the 6 of diamonds turn. He can still have a lot of strong hands which have decided to check back the flop, some traps, and some hands with showdown value that have decided to pot control, such as pocket kings, some weaker aces, and a hand like king-queen, which decided to 4-bet bluff pre-flop. So he checks back again, and we can now take out the traps on the flop, as they would not check back again, and he extremely likely has a 1-pair hand with showdown. I'd like you to have a think about our range and all of the hands which get to the river in this way. Our range pre looks something like pocket 10s plus, ace-queen suited, ace-king, and maybe ace-jack suited. So this hand is actually surprisingly weak relative to what we would have on average on this river. Given the fact we just cannot win at showdown, or it's incredibly unlikely that we win at showdown, I think it's a hand we should be bluffing with. I considered overbet shoving the river here for 2000, but then decided I liked around the full pot a little better. This puts all of his 1-pair hands in a very tough spot, and we can definitely credibly represent a strong hand. And after a long tank, really made us sweat, we eventually get it through. And he shows ace-king. So it is 3:20 in the morning. Just recorded the first loss of the vlog, unfortunately. I just lost $605, combined with the $375 win earlier, lost $230 on the day. It's like a really small loss in that game. So it was getting straddled quite a lot too. Right now, I'm going to drive home and go straight to sleep. Bye.